In this video, I'm going to show you how I use AI to design high converting product pages for problem solving products. So I'll be covering everything step by step, starting from setting up the colors and the fonts for your store using a theme called Debutify, how to create nice branded images that build more perceived value for the product that you're selling, how to set up each and every section across your product page to ensure that you get the highest conversion rate possible, and I'll even show you how we can use AI to handle all of the copywriting so you don't have to. And with all that being said, let's get straight into the value. So first things first, you're going to need a Shopify store, and you can easily sign up for a free trial directly on their website, or if you want to support this channel, just use my link down below. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to be designing my product page based on this product that I found off of Zendrop. And this product is basically a massager that pinches the muscles around the neck and shoulders similar to the way a massage therapist would. And these are the type of products that I generally like to look for just because it solves a problem that a lot of people experience in this world, which is going to allow us to scale really well if this product ends up doing well for us. And if you want to be able to find good problem solving products just like this, then you can use my link down below to get a free trial for Zendrop Plus. That way you can get access to their private list of winning products. And this list is updated every single week with products that have actually been proven to sell, which makes this a great starting point for beginners, especially if you don't really have a clue of what product you want to sell first. On top of that, you'll also get access to Zendrop Academy, which provides a bunch of free courses and weekly live calls with coaches that will actually help you learn how to run a dropshipping store correctly. This way you can dropship with confidence and not make the costly mistakes that a lot of beginners tend to make when they don't really have a clear direction or guidance on how to dropship. So again, all of these resources are available for you to try for the next 7 days just by using my link down below. So assuming you already have a product on your store that you want to sell, now I'm just going to quickly show you how I would set up the product description on the actual product settings on your Shopify admin. So right here, I've already imported the neck massager product into the store, and I just simply named it Shiatsu neck massager. And for the description, I really like to keep it as short and straight to the point as possible. And the goal of this section is to simply explain to your customers how your product works and all the benefits it could provide to them. So you can see here, I just have one simple sentence that explains all the benefits that they can expect out of this product and also the problem it helps to solve for the customer. So in this case, I'm saying that they don't ever have to spend another dime at the chiropractor. And below that, I have a list of 5 benefits that the customers actually care about. And it's really important that you talk about benefits and not features, because if you start talking about technical features such as the fact that it has 3 heat settings, adjustable speeds, adjustable temperatures, or whatever, those are things that could be important to a customer, but it doesn't really speak to the problem that they have, and it's not the actual core reason as to why they want to buy your product. So again, it's really important that you're speaking to all the issues that they have and the benefits and the outcomes that they can actually expect when they use your product. So if you don't really have too much experience with copywriting yourself, I've made it really easy for you guys. You could just scroll down to the description below and get my ChatGPT prompt, and it's going to help you to create a description for your products similar to this. And you can see this is the exact product description that I just simply copied and pasted from ChatGPT over onto the product settings right here. And aside from the description, it's also really important that you have a lot of high quality images that also explain the benefits of your product. So let me just quickly show you some of the images that I created for this product, just so you can get an idea of what you can be doing for your product as well. So notice how on the very first image, I'm explaining the exact problem that my product is solving for the customer. So I'm literally saying that it eliminates neck and shoulder pain. And right below that, I'm explaining how the product actually does that. And that is simply from the massage nodes that mimic real hands. And then right below all of that, I also have a couple of icons that explain a couple of more benefits of the product, such as 10-minute relief and the fact that it gets rid of some knots in the muscles. So as I go to the next image, again, I'm talking about more benefits, such as the fact that it reduces stress. And then I also have some icons explaining the features. But again, the main focus is talking about benefits. And on the next photo, again, I'm talking about another benefit, saying that it helps them to sleep. And then I also have a customer testimonial, which is going to help to build more credibility behind my store. And it's something that I strongly recommend that you have, because little things like this can help to increase your conversion rate a little bit more. And another nice image that you can put is like this comparison style picture, where you're basically comparing all of the benefits of the product that you're selling compared to some other solution that your customers might have tried. So in this case, I'm comparing this neck massager to chiropractors, and I'm just listing out some of the main benefits that they can expect out of my product that they otherwise couldn't really get with a chiropractor. And right after this, I just have another testimonial. I have another image explaining one of the features of the product. And lastly, just a nice simple image that explains visually how the product actually works, just so the customers can see how easy it is to set up. So again, having images like this on your store are extremely important because about 90% of your customers are probably going to be coming from a smartphone. And if we take a look at my product page from mobile view, one of the first things that they're going to be looking through are all the images about your product. And because most customers are visual learners, you want to make sure that your customer can learn everything that they need to know about your product by simply swiping through exactly in the way that I'm doing here. So now you're probably wondering, how do you actually create images similar to what I have on my store here? For that, I use a tool called Canva, and you can easily sign up for a free account. Once you're on Canva, just go to the top right, click on create a design, and select Instagram post square. Once you're on the product editor, it's going to look something like this, and you just want to make sure to set the color of your background to the same color as your store. And don't worry, later on in the video, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up all of the color schemes for your theme, but assuming you already have a good idea of the main color you want for your store, just make sure to use that as a background for all of your product images. And the next thing that you want to do is just upload your preferred image for your product. In this case, I just took a screenshot of this image I found off of AliExpress, but as a disclaimer, all of the images that I'm using in this video is purely for educational purposes. If you decide to source your images from AliExpress or anywhere else on the internet, you want to make sure that you're doing your own research to ensure that the images that you are sourcing are not copyrighted. And I always recommend taking your own photos or outsourcing your photos whenever possible. But once you have the image uploaded, just select that image, click on edit image right here, and then select background remover, and it should be able to erase everything that was in the background of this photo. And now I'm just going to crop this just a little bit smaller, and then what I'm going to do is just flip this image horizontally. That way this girl is just facing the other direction. And then now I'm just going to increase the size and place her somewhere around here, but also making sure that I leave some space on this picture to add all of the copywriting to explain the benefits of our product. So you can see on the image that I created, I already have the headline and the subtext written here. So I'm just going to paste it right here and just position it to wherever I feel like it looks good. And if you're struggling of thinking of good headlines and subtext to write for your images, you can also use my ChatGPT prompt, which is linked down below. And all you have to do is enter in some information about your product, and it's going to be able to create all of the headlines and the subtext for all of your images. And then all you have to do is copy and paste all of this right into Canva. And if you want to be able to get some of these nice icons that I have in this image here, just go to the top left hand corner, click on design, and then just type product features. And there's going to be a lot of templates that you can choose from. In this case, I chose this one right here, and we're going to add it as a new page. And then what you can do is just copy one of those icons and then paste it into your image like this, and then just drag that icon to whatever you feel like looks good. And then you could just type in whatever feature or benefit that you want. So as an example, I'll just put in 10-minute relief, and then you can click on the icon, delete it, go to the elements tab right here, and from here you can look up any keyword that best represents the feature that you just wrote. So I'll just type in something like health. Under graphics, I'm going to click see all, and I'm just going to select this icon right here, and then I'm going to drag it right over here, and that's basically all you need to do to create some of these nice icons. And the last thing that I like to do with some of my images is adding this nice little graphic just to fill in some of the blank spaces of my image. And if you want to add that into your image, just go to the elements tab once again, and then just type in something like border. Under the graphics tab, we're going to click see all, and from here you could just scroll down and choose any type of border that you feel like will look good for your photo. And once you find the border of your choice, you just want to change the color of that to all white, and then you want to reduce the transparency to somewhere around 50. And from here you could just rotate the graphic, increase the size a little bit, and then you could just drag it to whatever position you feel like looks good. That way you can get an image that ultimately looks pretty similar to what I have on my product page here. And if you want to create a customer review image similar to this, the great thing about Canva is that there's tons of templates that you can easily use. You could just type in something like customer reviews, and as you scroll down, you're going to see that there's tons of free templates that you can easily use. So for example, you could just import this one as a new page, and then you can select that image, and from here you could just drag over the image of one of your customers and replace it like this. And you can also use ChatGPT to help you with the copywriting for that image. So for example, I could just copy this and then paste it right here, and I'll go ahead and just make the text a little bit smaller. And of course you can adjust other things with this image, such as the font of the headline right here. You can also change the name of your customer, and then don't forget to change the color of your image so that ultimately you get a result that looks something like this. And lastly, if you want to create an image that compares your product with another solution, you can literally do the same exact thing that we just did with the customer review. So from the design tab, you just want to type in product comparison, and this is the exact template that I actually used to achieve this image right here. And once you add it as a new page, you just do the exact same things that I just showed you. Replace this image with your product and remove the background, and then just put in another image of whatever you're comparing your product to. And once again, by using one of my prompts linked down below, this will give you a list of benefits and cons that you can easily copy and paste into the image, exactly what I did right here. And with that being said, that is how I created all of the images that you see on my product page here. So now that you understand how to create high quality images for your product page, now we can get into the customization of our theme. So in order to do that, just go to online store on the left hand side. That way we can access all of the themes. And when it comes to designing your product page, you're free to use any theme that you want. But lately I've been using a theme called Debutify just because it offers more custom features that help to increase my conversion rate and help me make more profit from every sale that I get using the quantity breaks widget, which basically just makes it easy for the customer to buy multiple units of your product. And there's other great elements that we can add, such as delivery time windows, a nice carousel to highlight some of our customer testimonials, and also adding that nice sticky add to cart button that a lot of the top stores use once you scroll below the product page. So if you're interested in testing out some of these features for your product page, then you can also try Debutify completely for free by using my link down below. But if not, no worries, because most of what I'll be going over for our product page design can still be applied with whatever theme you decide to choose. Now, assuming you've decided to try out Debutify, once you've signed up, you're going to be taken into the dashboard that looks like this. And on the top right hand side, you want to click this little download button, and you're going to have the option to choose one of their pre-made templates. But for this video, we're going to stick with the default template and then click continue. So once you've downloaded the theme, the next thing you want to do is go to the left hand side, click on widgets, and click on all widgets. And this is basically a full library of different widgets and add-ons that you can enable within the theme itself, where some of these widgets are going to help to increase your conversion rate, and some of them can even help to increase your average order value. One example being the quantity breaks widget, which looks something like this, where the customer can buy multiple units of your product. And it's something that I strongly recommend that you have, because something as simple as this can take your profits and your sales to a whole new level. So feel free to just take some time, look at all of the add-ons that you feel like you want to enable for your own store. But again, one of the best things about having all of these add-ons in one place is that you're not going to have to keep installing different apps on the Shopify App Store just to have some of those widgets that you already get with Debutify itself. And in case you're wondering all of the add-ons that I have available, I'll just slowly scroll down just so you have an idea of all of the add-ons that I have enabled. And if you want to be able to follow along everything in this video, you definitely want to make sure you have everything enabled as shown on my screen here. And now that you've enabled all of the add-ons that you need, now you just want to head back over to your Shopify admin, so that way we can upload the zip file that we just downloaded earlier. So to do that, you just want to scroll down here, click on add theme, and then upload zip file, and simply drag over the theme file and then click on upload. And once it has been uploaded, it should show up right here. And now I'm going to click on customize. So the first thing that we're going to do is upload our logo. So I'm just going to activate the inspector tool and then select the header section right here. And then I'm going to scroll down a little bit on the right hand side, and I'm first going to drag over my logo to the default box right here. And for the mobile box, I'm also going to select that same exact logo. And as we scroll down a little bit further, we can also adjust the size of our logos on both desktop and mobile view. So for the desktop, I'm going to set it to around maybe 170px. And if we look at it on mobile view, we can see that the logo is really small. So I'm going to increase it to around 120px. So I think that looks pretty good so far. And the next thing that I'm going to do is click up here, click on products, and then click on default product. That way we can be brought directly to the product page that we actually have on our store and get a good idea of adjusting some of the colors for the product page. So to adjust the colors, we're going to go to theme settings on the left hand side, and we're first going to start by editing scheme number 1. For the button, this is going to be the main color that you generally want to have across your store. So if you remember a few minutes ago when I was going over editing your images, I'm going to go ahead and just use this same color code for the button of my product page. So I'll just paste it right here. And because I am using a really lighter tone blue, I'm going to change the button label to something close to black, so something around here. This way it's much easier for the customer to add the product to cart. Next, we're going to select accent background, and we're going to choose the same main color that we chose for the button, but instead I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. And the reason I went with a lighter tone color is because in some elements of our product page, we're going to have some sections and elements that are going to reflect that lighter tone color blue. As you can see with some of these drop downs, it's a little bit different than the harder tone blue that I have for the add to cart button. So just go ahead and use a lighter tone that looks good to you. For the borders, I'm going to change it to all white. For the links and accent, I'm going to choose a darker tone blue, because these are going to be the links and other elements on the store that we actually want to stand out a little bit more and not be the same as our button colors. For the form elements, I'm going to take the exact color code that I used for the accent background and paste it for the form elements as well. For the sales price, I'm going to choose the darker tone blue that I used for the links and accent as well. And we're pretty much good to go with scheme number 1. And now we're going to edit scheme number 2. For the background, we want to use the same primary color that we have for our add to cart button. So you should be able to find one of those colors somewhere around here. Otherwise, you could just copy and paste the color code. For the accent background, we want to choose that lighter tone blue, similar to what we did with scheme 1. Borders, I'm going to change it to all white. For the text, I'm going to change it to something a little bit close to black, so something like this. And you can see that the text color changed for the announcement bar up here. If you're using a darker color for your background, then you probably don't need to change your text color. So you can choose either black or white for the text, just depending on your situation. For the buttons, this time I'm going to be choosing my lighter tone blue, which would be the same color as the accent background. For the button label, I'm going to choose that exact same black that we used for the text right here. For the link and accents, I'm going to choose the darker tone blue that we did just a bit earlier. Form elements, we're going to do the lighter tone blue, which is the same as the buttons and the accent background here. And for sales price, I'm also going to select the darker tone blue. And now we're good to go with both of our color schemes. And now I'm going to go back, go to the cart tab, scroll down a little bit, and we're going to change the color schemes of our cart drawer to scheme number 1, and then change this to scheme number 1 as well. And now I'm going to click on the inspector tool, and I'm going to select the header once again. On the right hand side, I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to change this color scheme to scheme number 1, and then click save to save all of our changes up to this this point. Now this part is optional. I'm going to show you how you can adjust all of the fonts for your product page. To do that, go on the left hand side and click on theme settings, and then find the option that says typography. For the headings, I'm going to go ahead and change this to Cooper, and you can see that the font has changed for the name of our product. This is also optional. You can increase the size of the font to whatever you want. In this case, I increased it to 38px. And now I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. For the body text, I'm going to change it to Harmonia Sans. And for the accent text, I'm going to use the same exact font that I used for the heading of my product, which is Cooper. So I'm going to select that. And now we're good to go with the fonts. Now I'm going to select the inspector tool, and now we're going to adjust the announcement bar. And on the right hand side, I'm going to select enable sticky announcement bar. And for these two messages, you can choose whatever you want. In this case, I'm just going to delete the one on the left hand side and only leave this one where it tells the customers that they can get in touch with us. And now I'm going to go to the left hand side, add a new message, and you can see by default it's going to have this message right here. Of course, put whatever you want, but personally what I like to do is add some sort of offer and some urgency just to help to increase the conversion rate a little bit. And then I'm also going to add a second message, but this time I'm going to mention our 30-day money back guarantee, and this way the customer is going to see both of these messages, which again could potentially help to increase our conversion rates. And now that we set up all of the technical settings behind our theme, now we can actually start working on the product page itself. So the first thing that you want to do, which is extremely important, is that you create a template based on the product page that you are actually designing. So to do that, just click where it says default product up here, click on products, and then create a new template and just simply name this after your product. So in this case, I'm going to call it neck massager and then create a template. Once you do that, you want to head back over to your product settings in your Shopify admin, scroll down just a little bit, click on theme template, and you should be able to see the template that we just created. So in this case, it's called neck massager, and then click save. Once you do that, you just want to refresh your theme, and we should now have a template based on just this product. And the reason we do this is that once we start adding additional sections across our product page, it's only going to apply to this specific product that has this template. So if you end up having multiple products on your store, you definitely don't want to have the exact same sections specifically for this neck massager if you're selling another product that has nothing to do with your neck massager. So I hope that makes sense. So now what I'm going to do is select the inspector tool and then select the product page right here. On the left hand side, we're going to scroll down a little bit. We're going to take that description and we're going to move it all the way below the price tag right here. And now I'm going to scroll down a little bit again. We're going to remove the sharing icons and remove the collections. This way we only have the quantity bar. That way it looks less messy and just more clean and straight to the point for the customer. And now the next thing I'm going to do is go on the left hand side, add a new section, select rich text, and we're going to drag that right below the actual product section right here. And then I'm also going to add another section, but this time I'm going to select image with text, and then I'm going to drag that right below the rich text that we created earlier. And what I'm going to do is create 3 more of this image with text section. That way we have a total of 4 of these exact same sections. So now we should have our rich text section here, and then 4 of these image with text sections. And basically how these sections are going to look like is that you're first going to have what's called a problem statement. And what we're basically doing with this is just reminding the customer and agitating their problem. And right below the statement, we're going to be introducing our product and tell them exactly how it's going to solve the problems that we just mentioned in our problem statement. So fortunately, once again, you don't need to have any copywriting experience here. You can just use my ChatGPT prompt, which is available to you guys in my link below. And it's going to be a multi-step process in order to get the problem and solution statement, but there will be a separate guide that's included that's going to show you guys exactly how this prompt works. But this is basically what I use in order to create the problem and the solution statement. And all you have to do is simply copy and paste all of this and paste it into the sections that we just created here. So I'm first going to copy the headline for our problem statement, and I'm going to select the featured content right here and then paste that as the headline. Then I'm just going to paste in the subtext that I got from ChatGPT, and I'm going to select the rich text section once again. And for the section style, I'm going to select accent background. That way it's going to have that lighter tone blue, which is what we set up earlier with our color scheme settings. And then moving down below, we're going to select the image with text section, and we're going to make sure that the image position is set to right, and we want the text alignment to be set to the left. And then right under this section, we want to keep this section as is, but with the third image with text section, I'm going to make sure that the image position is set to right, text alignment set to left, and the end result should just be all of these sections alternating the images from left to right, just like this. And now we can basically work with the first section, which is going to be our solution statement, which is going to be a direct response to the problem statement that we just created. So to do that, I'm going to go back over to ChatGPT and copy this headline for the solution statement. And with this section selected, I'll go ahead and just paste in that headline. And then I'm also going to copy that subtext and then paste it just like this. So now that we have all the copywriting right here, the next thing that you want to do is upload a GIF file that best represents how your product works. This way it can help your customers visually see how your product is going to solve their problem when paired with the copywriting that they're reading right here. So as you can see on my demo store, this is the type of GIF file that I have, which is basically just showing my customers customers that the neck massager mimics the feeling of real hands. And if you want to be able to create a GIF file similar to this, all you have to do is go on this website called easygif.com, click on the video to GIF feature, and then just upload any video file that you want. And then you simply upload that GIF file and it should be able to appear just like this. And now the next thing that we need to do is add some more copywriting to fill in the rest of these 3 sections. And to help with that, you can also use my product page prompt, which is going to give you all of the copywriting that you need in order to complete the rest of our product page. So for example, I'm going to copy the first headline right here. I'm going to go ahead and paste that headline. And then I'm also going to paste in the subtext right here. And then you also want to make sure you upload an image that actually matches the benefit that you're explaining here. And as you guys saw earlier in the video, I showed you guys exactly how I create all of the feature and the benefit images for the products. And then once you've uploaded everything for all of your image with text sections, the end result should look something like this, where you have all of those features and benefits. For this section, I also used a GIF file, which is completely optional, but you can see that I have a total of 4 of these sections that helps to display the benefit that I'm experiencing through the copywriting that I got from my prompt. And right below this, we're also going to have a section that displays all of the customers that are holding our product, which again is going to build more credibility behind the product that we're selling, because it's going to show our customers that there's real people out there actually using our product. So in order to do that, we're going to go on the left-hand side and you want to find the section that's called text columns with images. And you want to make sure you drag that section all the way below all of our image with text sections. And depending on the amount of customer photos that you have, you can either stick with a total of 3 columns, but I would recommend having at least 5 additional columns. That way it's going to give a nice carousel effect similar to what you see here. So once you've added all of the columns that you want, we're going to select the main section here. And on the right-hand side, for the section style, we're going to select accent background. And I'm going to head back over to ChatGPT. I'm going to copy the section headline right here, and then I'm going to paste it right here. And then I'm also going to copy this subtext and then paste it below that heading. And for the image size, you can select anything that you want. For me, I'm going to select original just because I've already cropped all of my customer images with the exact same dimensions as each other. And for the columns, we're going to stick to 3. For display type, I'm going to select carousel, and everything here you can leave exactly as it is, and then click save on the theme. And now we can select each individual column, select any image of your customer that's actually holding your product. And then because my prompt already creates all of the copywriting for you, we can simply just copy the testimonial and then just paste it below all of these customers. That way it'll look something like this. And by the way, if you want to know how to get all of these stars that I put down below here, you can literally just Google black star symbol and then simply copy this text and then paste it 5 times exactly like I do here. And again, you're going to have your customer image with the testimonial and then those nice little star symbols down below. And then from here, you just want to do the exact same thing for every single column within this section. And once you're done, the section should look something like this, where you have a total of at least 5 customer images that are all holding your product. And now that this section is complete, right below this, we're going to add another section that's going to remind our customers how our product compares to some of the old solutions that they might have used in the past. And in order to do that, you want to go on the left-hand side, we're going to add another new section, and we want to select image with text, and then you want to drag that right below our customer testimonial section. We're going to move the image to the right-hand side, select left over here, and then you simply want to upload that image that I already showed you guys how to do on Canva. And with my prompt, I'm simply going to copy and paste the headline and the subtext for this section. And right below this section is where you should also add your customer review widget as well. And in order to do that, just go on the left-hand side, you should find an option that says review widget. Once you select that, on the right-hand side, you want to select on theme settings. And the great thing about Debutify is that it supports a ton of different review apps. So if you want, you can use the Debutify reviews app, but personally, the review widget that you're seeing here is called Review, and it's something that I've been using for the past several years now, just because it makes it super easy to import reviews from Amazon, which in my opinion look a lot more believable and a lot more high quality, especially once your customers actually start reading your reviews. And taking a closer look at my review widget, notice how I have a lot of images of the product and people actually wearing the product as well. And this is something ideal to have because the more that your customers can visually see other people using the product, the more that it's actually going to help to increase your conversion rate. And once you have your review widget set up, we're going to add one more section, which is going to be our FAQ section. This way we can answer any potential questions customers might have, which is going to help them with the decision process when they're buying your product. So I'm just going to drag this right below the review widget. Then I'm going to select category. For the heading, I'm just going to put general. And then over here, you can basically just add as many blocks as you want. So you can just add all of the questions that you might potentially have for your product. And if you go back to my prompt, you can also use some of the questions and answers that it provided here. Of course, you want to make sure that you're putting actual questions that customers might ask about the product, but this is just a good starting point in case you have no clue what to put. And once you paste in all of your questions, the finished result should look something like this. So basically the customer should have the ability to click on any of these questions and get direct answers for any of those questions. And now that we have this FAQ section set up, another thing that I'd recommend that you do is also add a few drop downs under your add to cart button. This way your customers can have instant answers to any potential questions they might have, especially if they don't take the time to actually scroll down to the bottom of your website. So if you want to be able to create sections like this, it's really simple. All we need to do is just select select this section right here. And on the left-hand side, you should see an option that's called product tabs. In this case, I had it hidden because I already have it pre-made. But setting up this section is a pretty self-explanatory process. So basically, you can add as many questions as you want just by simply pressing add block and then selecting text and image right here. But in this case, I put about 6 subsections where 4 of these questions explain how our product works and some common questions that our customers might have. And then I also have some information about our shipping and delivery and returns and exchanges. If you need some help on creating all of the copywriting and thinking of some of the questions to put up here, no worries, as I have a prompt that will help you with all of those. So you can see that it provides an answer of how our product works. It gives me some sample questions that I can also put for this section. And then it will also help you write all of your shipping and delivery and returns and exchanges policies. And then from there, all you have to do is simply copy and paste everything just like we did with the FAQ section. And then once you set up all of these product tabs, the finished result should look something like this. And then now I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can actually do with Debutify that's going to help increase the average order value from all of the orders that you get on your store. So on my demo page, you can see that I have this little widget that allows the customers to buy multiple units of our product. And this is something that I strongly recommend that you have on your product page because it's literally the easiest and the most no-brainer option to get more profits out of every sale. So in order to add those quantity bundles, you just want to head over to the left-hand side, scroll down a little bit and click where it says quantity breaks, then select add block and then select product break. On the right-hand side, we're going to scroll down just a little bit and then you want to select the product that you're actually selling. In this case, it's the neck massager. And then for quantity break 1, we're going to keep it at a value of 2. For the name, we're going to put A. And for the amount, this is basically the percentage amount that you're going to give to your customers, assuming that they add 2 of your items to their cart. So you can set this to whatever amount that you want. In this case, I'm going to put a 10% discount if they decide to buy 2 units of the neck massager. And then for quantity break 2, I'm going to put number 3. For the name, I'm going to put B. And for the amount, I'm going to put a 15% discount if they buy 3 units of the neck massager. So now you can see that we have this nice little widget that's now above the add to cart button. But there's also going to be one more thing that we need to do in the back end of our Shopify settings to ensure that our customers are actually going to get these discounts once they add the item to their cart. So going back to our Shopify admin, you want to go to the left-hand side and click on discounts and then create a new discount and select amount off products. We're going to select automatic discount. For the percentage, you just want to make sure to match the exact percentages that we set up on the widget. So because we are giving a 10% discount if a customer adds 2 items to cart, we're going to make sure that we set up a 10% discount specifically for 2 items. And then below this, we're going to select specific products. And then you simply want to select the exact product that you're selling. Scroll down a little bit more, select minimum quantity of items, and then put 2. And then from there, we're going to save the discount. But it looks like I got a slight error because I actually forgot to name this discount. So just make sure to put something that helps you remember what this is. So I'm just going to put something like neck buy 2 and then click save. Once you do that, it should be saved successfully. And then what we're going to do is create another discount, do the exact same thing, click automatic discount. For the name, I'm going to put neck buy 3. For the percentage, we're going to put 15% and then select your product here. Minimum quantity of items, we're going to put 3 this time and then click save. So basically what we did is that we're now offering customers 10% off if they buy 2 and then 15% off if they buy 3. And then if we go back to the theme editor, we can go ahead and test this out just to see if it works. So let's say if your customer selects this option and then adds the product to cart, we're going to see the cart pop up right here with the discount code that we just created automatically applied to their order. So again, this is one super easy way to easily increase your average order value. But there's also one additional thing that we can put into this cart drawer that can help to increase our average order value even further. And that is by also using the cart upsell feature that is built into the Debutify theme. So on the left-hand side, you just want to select on cart upsell, click on add block, select specific upsell. For the product trigger, you want to select the exact product that you're selling. And for the product offer, you want to select a complementary product that your customer might also be interested in. So in this case, I just uploaded this product, which is called a knee massager. And then I'm going to select that. And then I'll go ahead and save these changes and refresh the theme just so you can see how it's going to look like on the cart drawer. So if we click on the cart drawer again, you can see right below the item that they added to cart is also going to present this little upsell message that's also going to tell your customers that they might be interested in this knee massager. And again, this is something I strongly recommend that you put, as this is what I personally do with all of my stores. And the best thing about Debutify is that it's all built in and you don't have to pay any separate app subscription fees that you normally would just to get this type of feature for your store. And honestly, with this theme, there's also so many different ways that can also help to increase your average order value as well. If you want, you can also use their upsell bundles feature and even create a specific bundle that you can put into your product page, which works pretty similarly with what we just showed on the neck massager, but it's still something that can work really, really well. And again, it's something really seamless and easy to put on your product page. And now that we have all of our upsells set up, I'm going to show you one last detail that you can add into the product page that can also help to increase your conversion rate just a little bit more by letting your customers know when exactly they can expect to receive their order. So to do that, you want to go on the left-hand side, find the option that says delivery time, and then you can go ahead and add a new delivery time. In this case, I already have one pre-made right here. And then on the right-hand side is where you can basically adjust all of the settings. So you can select all of the different regions and the countries that you're actually shipping to. You can also adjust the format of the date as well. In this case, I'm using this exact format right here. You can also add in specific days of the week where most post office companies are actually not working. Generally, I would just probably leave this on Saturday and Sunday. And then on this box, you could pretty much leave this the same. And then over here is basically where you can adjust the time frame and how long it actually takes to ship out all of your orders. And for example, if you're using Zendrop and you take advantage of some of their US warehouses, which can literally get delivered to your customers in just a couple of days, you could present your customers a much shorter time frame of when your product gets delivered to them, which again could potentially increase the conversion rate and make them want to actually purchase from you rather than all of the other dropshipping stores that are using slow suppliers that might even take 20 to 30 days or more just to get it delivered. But that's pretty much how you can set up this little widget right here. This is a completely optional feature, but this is something that I have been putting on my product page, and it's also a feature that you generally see a lot of the other top brands and top stores do as well. So now our product page is basically complete. As a recap of how everything looks like, we first have all of our high quality images that explain all of our benefits of our product. We have our star ratings right here, which comes directly from whatever review app that you decide to use. We have a nice short description that explains all of the benefits of our product. We've got our quantity bundles here, estimated delivery times, all of these collapsible rows that help to answer all of the questions for our customers. And then as they keep scrolling down, the customer is going to be reminded of their pain point right here. And then right below that, we have an introduction that shows what our product does and all of the problems that it solves for them. And as you scroll down further, we just have other sections that explain other features and benefits of the product. We have a nice little carousel that shows all of the customers that are holding our product, which is going to build more credibility behind our store. And below this, we just have one more reminder of how our product compares to some of the previous solutions that our customers might have tried. And then below this, we have our guarantee. And below this, we have all of our customer reviews with a lot of images of people wearing the product and showing that they've actually received that product. And then down below the review widget, we also have our FAQ sections just to help give our customers more answers in case they're wondering something about our product. And then right below this, we also have a nice bundle, which is what I just showed you guys earlier. And again, it's just something nice to have to help increase those sales. And one last final detail in case you didn't notice, but we do have this little sticky add to cart button that actually shows up once the customer is actually scrolling down our product page. And again, this is just something nice to have, which also helps to improve the browsing experience for your customers. So this is the general approach that I take when it comes to designing a high converting product page for problem solving products. And if you want to know how to create high converting ads for problem solving products just like this, I actually showed how I created an ad featuring this exact neck massager while also incorporating UGC creators made entirely with AI. So I highly suggest watching that video so you can learn how to create high performing ads that are actually working in 2024 and especially 2025. And with that being said, that's pretty much going to wrap up the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to this channel, and also join my free Discord group as well to be connected with like-minded entrepreneurs who are also doing dropshipping. And also don't forget to take advantage of your free trial with Zendrop and claim your free $200 in credits that you can use to fulfill all of your orders. The link will be down below for you to access that. But again, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.